Thor, the almighty god of thunder. Thor, the strongest of the gods. Thor, the one all the giants fear, the protector of mankind in Midgard. Thor, 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 Thor. Maybe today we should give someone else a chance. Odin has more sons, you know, like Baldur, Viara, and Vali. As a matter of fact, there might even be other gods whose parentage is not mentioned in Norse sources that could even turn out to be sons of Odin. But that's a mystery we will leave for another day. As for now, you stay right here. Today we'll be looking at Baldur, the one that is loved by all the gods and goddesses. They say Baldur is the handsomest, gracious, and the most cheerful, so much that he gives off light. Late Norse literary sources portray Baldur as a generous, joyful character that gladdens anyone who spends time with him. But even the nicest people have the worst enemies. And in the case of Baldur, sadly, he lost. Evil won this time. Stick around to learn the story of one of the most popular gods of the Norse religion, the beloved son of Odin, Thor. Oh, sorry, Baldur. So we know Baldur is a jolly good fellow, happy and cheerful, full of fun. But there came a time when he suddenly began to have ominous dreams, rather nightmares in my words. Nightmares of a grave misfortune befalling him, which was making all the gods worried and tense. They all went to Odin and appointed him to discover the meaning of Baldur's strange dreams. Of course, Baldur's father was overly anxious. He wasted no time in getting to know what the dreams meant. He called Loki's son and jumped onto him and rode him all the way to the underworld. And if you're thinking, Loki's son? Yes, that's Sleipnir, a 8-legged horse. Odin went to the underworld to consult a dead seeress, who specialized in these kinds of matters. When Odin reaches there, he is in disguise. It's cold and misty, and he sees the halls are decorated and arranged as if a magnificent feast were about to occur. Odin finds the seeress who was sleeping and wakes her up, and asks her, what is the occasion for such grand arrangements? She responded to Odin saying a guest of honor was going to come, and it was no other than Baldur. Oh, the horror! Imagine how you would feel if you see a party arranged in some underworld, and they say they're preparing for your dead son to meet them soon. Crazy. The seeress was overly joyed. She merely spoke of how Baldur was going to meet his doom, until when she realized who she was talking to, she stopped. This disguised wanderer was no other than Odin, the father of Baldur. Unfortunately, there was no stopping what she had prophesied. The grievous Odin returns to Asgard in misery and sorrow. The gods are all waiting for him in hope that he would bring them a solution. Frigg, the mother of Baldur, was going insane. She would do anything to save her treasured son Baldur. Odin told all of his companions of the prophecy. Frigg, however, was in no way ready to accept that. She went far and wide, no matter how remote, and obtained oaths from every entity in the cosmos, living or non-living, to not harm Baldur. Once all these oaths were secure, the gods were relieved. They were sporting around now. They were playing games with Baldur. They threw sticks, pricks, stones and bones, rocks and socks. No, but they did throw things in order to test out the oaths. Everything they threw bounced off of Baldur and left him unharmed, shining the brightest on the highest branch of the Yggdrasil. Now who has to ruin every happy moment? You guessed it, the mischief maker Loki, mother of Sleipnir, an 8-legged horse, always running into trouble. He went to Frigg in disguise and asked, had all the things sworn oaths to spare Baldur? Frigg bragged, oh yes, everything except the mistletoe. But the mistletoe was so small and innocent, I felt it needless to ask it for an oath. What harm could it do to my son? Oh Frigg, had you not known you were living with a guy named Loki? Loki immediately went to the mistletoe and carved it into a shape of a spear. and went to join the gods in their favorite new game of harming Baldur. Loki joined them and threw the mistletoe at Baldur, killing him. And at once the gods jumped on Loki, ready to get revenge. Come on, Loki isn't that stupid. Loki always has a plan. He joins the gods at their play and went to the blind god, Hodder. He said, "Don't you feel left out? All the other gods are enjoying themselves, and you have to sit back from all the merriment." Hodder agrees. Loki then handed the mistletoe to Hodder. "I'll point this to the direction that Baldur is standing, and you throw this branch at him." So Hodder threw the mistletoe, and it pierced the god straight through, and Baldur fell dead on the spot. The gods around Baldur froze. They couldn't speak. They were filled with anguish and fear. Baldur was dead, and they knew that this was the first sign of Ragnarok. Everyone was upset. Everyone was mourning. But even then, Frigg had not lost all hope yet. She asked who was the bravest and most compassionate and loyal to journey to the land of the dead to offer Hel, the goddess of death, a ransom for Baldur's release. Hermod, one of the sons of Odin, offered to undergo this mission himself, and Odin instructed Sleipnir to accompany Hermod there. In the meantime, the gods arranged a lavish funeral for Baldur. They turned his ship, Hrinforni, into a pyre fitted for a great king. But when the time came to launch the ship, they found it stuck in the sand, and they were unable to budge it an inch. After many failed attempts, they brought the brawniest being in the cosmos, a giantess named Hirokin. She rode into Asgard on her wolf. In her hand were poisonous snakes she used as the reins. Wow, didn't imagine the brawniest being in the cosmos to be a giant woman. Anyways, she does successfully get the ship out of the sand. She gave such a mighty push that the land quaked, but the ship was finally freed. Baldur's body was carried onto the ship. His wife Nanna became so grievous and heartbroken she couldn't take it anymore, and she died right there on the spot. Both Baldur and his wife were placed on the pyre, and the fire was kindled. Thor hallowed the flames with his hammer over it. Odin offered his ring, Draupnir, and lastly Baldur's horse was also led into the fire with him. Beings from all around the 9 worlds came to Baldur's funeral. Gods, giants, elves, dwarves, valkyries, you name it. They watched in sorrow and mourned the death of a great god. Down in the underworld, Hermod had been riding for 9 nights, entering into a darker and deeper valley than ever seen before. He finally reached a river, Jol. There was a giantess guarding it, Modgud. She asked Hermod what his name was, and for what reason he was there. Hermod answered her to her satisfaction, and she let him enter into the realm of Hel. Hermod soon spotted the throne of Hel, and she saw Baldur, pale and downcast, sitting in a seat of honor next to her. When the next morning came, Hermod pleaded to Hel to release his brother. All the living things felt for his absence. On this, Hel replied, "If this is so, let everything in the cosmos weep for him, and I will send him back with you. But if any refuses, he will have to remain in my presence." So Hermod returned to Asgard and brought with him good news. The gods sent messengers all throughout the 9 worlds to bear the news to the inhabitants. And indeed, everyone did weep for Baldur. Everyone except for Talk. Talk coldly told the messengers, "Let Hel hold what she has." And so Baldur was never able to come back to Asgard, into the living world ever again. He remained condemned in the darkness and dampness of Hel's realm. The living world was stripped of his gladdening light and exuberance because of that one being who refused to mourn his death, Talk, who was actually Loki in disguise. If you liked our video, give it a like and a thumbs up. Visit our channel for more interesting stories from the Norse. Stories Marvel won't tell you.